Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to our Thursday Night Live. Today is a solo show with me, Frankie, from the FAQ show. How is everyone doing? Now, if you can hear me loud and clear, please help me to type one in the comment box so that we all know that you can hear us. Okay. Melvin's still talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin hit 90k, 98k all-time high. Yes, correct, correct. Okay. So how are you guys been doing? I think for those who are investing in the US market especially, they are all smiling to the banks right now, lah, right? Right. Since Donald Trump won the recent election, all the Donald Trump related stocks are flying so high up today. Okay. Now, just to share with you a little bit of updates of what we have been busying with, right? So for the past few weeks, we actually went down to the ground to meet up with many of our followers, to our subscribers, and all that. And with the help of Guinness, which is the sponsor of our on-ground event, we managed to conduct 3 sessions with you guys. How many of you actually went to the Guinness session? If you went there, can you please comment two in the comment box. So those who went, I hope to see you guys again today on this Thursday Night Live as well. Anybody or not? Anybody went to the Guinness event or not? Sound a bit soft. The mic sound is a bit soft. Yes, correct. Hello, can you guys hear me? If you can hear me loud and clear, please help me to type one again in the comment box. Okay, so while the team is fixing the microphone, maybe let me just continue, lah, right? Right. So just to share with you guys who didn't manage to join us in the Guinness event. So basically, we wanted to engage more with our audience. We want to get closer to you guys because always it has been this kind, right? This kind of communication, one-way communication, and we thought it is only great if we can also interact with you guys. So therefore, we have been planning this project for quite a while, and finally we did it 3 times, and hopefully we can do more and more in the future going into 2025. Now, who wants to have a different session with FAQ show as well? If you like to have this kind of on-ground event with FAQ show, you can also tell us by typing 3 in the comment box, right? Then we can also put that into planning. So going forward, it is not just about Mr. Money TV kind of content. You can also hear a lot more about investment kind of stuff, right? Right. If you want to hear more about this kind of topics, yeah, please type 3 in the comment box. Then we can also put in the planning. So today's topic, since I'm alone today, let's talk a little bit about the market, and specifically, let's talk about Tesla, right? For the past 60 days, this stock has gone up by more than 60%. So on average, one day 1%. Where to get this kind of stocks, right? Wow. Personally, I am not too interested or too convinced with Tesla stock. So throughout the entire year, I actually never touched Tesla at all. So whenever Tesla shares went up, and then the rest of the team are quite happy. Those who bought are very happy. But yeah, lah, I just stand at the side, applaud. Yeah, good job. You all did well, right? So today we are going to go deeper about it. I think I want to share, and let's have a discussion, right? Whether I've actually missed the boat, or is there more upside for me to consider to join the team, right? Join the ride together with the rest of the team and see Tesla continue to go up. Now, first of all, who thinks that Tesla is going to continue to go up one way street all the way to the moon? If you agree with that, please respond to the comment box. And those who don't believe that it can continue to go up, also please comment in the comment box so I can see what is the ratio here. Now, even though there's only like not many people over here today, but at least with this small sample size, that gives me the first impression of whether I should continue to look at Tesla or not, right? But I will share with you why for the past 1 year I don't think Tesla is a stock that deserve a spot in my portfolio. I will go into that and then let's see, let's discover together, right? Wow, only one person believed that Tesla stock is going to go up. Fantastic. So most of you are with me, is it? Right? You all don't think that Tesla is going to go up? Okay. Anyways, I think so. Maybe throughout this whole session, right? You guys can also understand a little bit on how I actually look at stocks. How do I filter it, and how do I how do I process the thinking whether I should at least put the stock into my watch list and continue observing it, right? So I like to look at it from the very fundamental of a company. So for Tesla, obviously Tesla sell cars, right? So we need to look at cars. How many of you has gone to Tesla showroom and test drive their cars before? Come on, give me some response, right? If you have tested a Tesla car before, just type Tesla in the comments. If you haven't, then just put an X or something like that. Now, personally, I haven't test drive a Tesla before. That's how I that's how much I don't like Tesla, right? To the point that I've tested so many cars, but I never tested Tesla before. But we have colleagues in the team. They went there and they shared their experience. They shared their experience testing the car. So I got a little bit more understanding from that, right? So I want to take this opportunity to share with you guys as well. So the moment you go into the showroom and you step into the car, apparently you don't feel like you are stepping into a car. You feel like you are stepping into a big surrounded iPad. I guess I guess that should be the feel because the whole Tesla is so empty in there, right? And the only thing that you can see is the big iPad screen in front of the dashboard. So everything needs to be controlled through the iPad or the screen or whatever, right? But this is the interesting thing about Tesla. The way that the sales agent will sell to you is that they will tell you the car is future proof. Now, what do they mean by future proof? So, one of the colleagues give a very good example. So, do you know that if you buy the old version of Tesla, right, there is no this function where you can kick at the bottom of the boot and then the boot can open by itself, right? So there is no this function. And we all know that in order to get this kind of function, if you buy any other brands of cars, the car need to install that special sensor at the bottom of the car so that when the sensor detects your leg swiping across the sensor, then the boot will open up by itself, right? So without the sensor, that thing wouldn't work. But how Tesla is future proof in the sense is that even though the old cars is not installed with such sensor, but the whole car is being operated by your phone, and the connectivity between the car and the phone. So apparently, how it works is that if you have your phone in your pocket and if you walk close to the car, somehow the car will know that you want to open the boot, and then the boot will open by itself. I don't know how that works, but that's what I was told, right? Wow, fantastic, future proof. And and also the car is installed with so many cameras, so that in the future, if let's say there are new features in the market that currently Tesla don't have a sensor for it, but it can still be operated because your phone is always in your pocket, and the camera can sense that the owner of the car is near the radius, and then it can operate with that new kind of feature lah. So that's how the sales agent will sell you. Okay, so you buy this car, it's going to be future proof, it's fantastic. You buy it today, and then today, government give you a lot of subsidies, blah 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 blah. A lot of people will get so intrigued and so excited about Tesla, and they will end up buying it. But then I think to myself, right, if that's the case, if it is so wonderful, why is there still a Tesla graveyard sitting somewhere, right? If you guys read the news, there are like thousands of Tesla just sitting in the parking lot unsold, cannot be sold. Does it mean that Tesla overproduce? Their forecast got problem with it, or people don't buy it, right? So to address this one, I have my own theory. Now, I still recall when Apple iPhone first came out, right? My friends were also telling me that Apple iPhone is future proof. And that time I was using a Nokia phone, right? And they say, hey, why is it future proof? It's because when the software is outdated, right? Apple is going to come up with new software updates. And once you do the software updates, then it feels like a new phone. So you don't need to change a new phone anymore, you know. But then looking back now, 10, 15 years down the road, right? How many iPhones have we changed? Probably every 1 or 2 years. 1 or 2 years you will change once, right? And and why does that happen? It happens because it is not about the software update. It is more about the speed of how technology has advanced forward that the current hardware cannot support that kind of functionality. So like today, your iOS 18, right? It needs to have certain kind of capability on the chips, then only the feature can function. If not, it doesn't. So it will force the user to continue to change to a new hardware. And that's how Apple makes money today, right? iPhone sales is still the big chunk of their revenue. So if they cannot sell iPhone, basically half of Apple's revenue is going to be gone. So that's one important point of how businesses make money. And I think in order for Tesla to make money, they will also need to continue to sell cars. Then the question would be, what can they do to make existing Tesla users to change their car? Because they already pitch to people that this is a future-proof car. Technically speaking, you don't have to change. First, I think is the engine. Well, there's no engine. I think I should call it a motor, right? It's the motor. In order to have a more efficient EV, the motor needs to be bigger. The gear in the motor needs to be bigger so that it doesn't need to spin so many RPM. When you don't need to spin so many RPM, it don't need to work so much. And when it doesn't work so much, then you use less energy. I think that is one thing that will continue to entice people to change to a new vehicle because yeah, you get more range with smaller battery. Smaller battery means the car is lighter, right? And number two, in order for Tesla to make money, I think the biggest problem here is they need to deal with the graveyard, right? The graveyard of Tesla cars. And I think you read the news, there are a lot of creative ideas coming out from Elon Musk and also his team as well. One of the brilliant idea is to deploy those cars to become robo-taxi, right? Because all these are those cars are capable of self-driving, but they have a very big problem. The regulations today, I think almost all around the world, doesn't support self-driving simply because of safety issues. And even though if you have the capability, you are not able to use it. Okay, then it comes down to my main topic of today. So while the title is Tesla up 60% in the past 60 days, actually the true the true content of today is to talk about Elon Musk, right? And Elon Musk is a very interesting guy. Um, Prior to the Trump election, right? If you look back his past interview and all that, he wasn't a really big supporter of Trump, right? He would criticize him and blah 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 stuff like that. But I think over the years, the under the Democrat administration, I think Elon Musk has gone fed up a little bit. Now, why do I say that? If you notice Elon Musk and his creativity and his urge to want to drive for more innovation and things like that, you can see EV cars today not just run on batteries, but it can drive itself. Look at him building rockets, right? In the past, only organization like NASA is able to have the kind of capability to build rockets. But a private company like SpaceX is able to do that as well, ahead of many companies, right? But the problem with him is that he feels there is a lot of red tapes curbing him to do even more things. So he had this comment where he said that if it wasn't because of the red tapes, his rockets would have flown to Mars already. And if it wasn't the regulation, there would have been more EVs on the street. And probably today there are more cars that are self-driving in the market. So he was very fed up with the government. And I think that drives him to want to pledge his support to the other side, which naturally is Donald Trump. Lah. And I think because he is a businessman, Donald Trump is a businessman. And I think when businessmen and businessmen talks, they kind of have that same wavelength, same frequency. So I think there's a lot of uh, synergies for both of them to work together. And I think that's one of the key reasons that Elon Musk decided to support Donald Trump. Not only support him, but he becomes the largest uh, donate uh, donate candidate to him, and eventually Donald Trump won the election. Okay, and I think because of that, Donald Trump also appointed Elon Musk to become the lead in the Department of Government Efficiency. Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, Dodge. Whether it is intended or not, I don't know, but Dodge and Elon is also very closely related, lah, right? Most of the time, people talk about Elon Musk, people talk about Doge, Doge as in Dogecoin, right? The meme coin. But anyways, what is this DOGE all about, right? Is that over the years, I think in Malaysia we have experienced this before as well. Over the years, the government tends to uh, build more and more government agencies to regulate things. And Elon Musk punya mentality is that when you build so many government agencies, it becomes a red tape for businesses to want to move faster. For example, if he wants to push forward self-driving, he is not only going to deal with the Ministry of Transport, for example. He needs to deal with like 3, 5, 7 government agencies to get one regulation approved, right? And to him, that's too slow. So I think his idea of efficiency is probably to cut down those government agencies so that it is more efficient, right? But when you cut down those government agency means that you are going to fire people or restructure the whole organization. So basically, you're going to fire people. Some people may argue and say that, hey, no, you can actually ask them to do other things, put them in different departments and stuff like that, right? But I think for Elon Musk, most likely he's going to fire them. Why? Because he has done it before. He has done it so many times. He has done it with Tesla. If you all remember when Tesla was not doing well, one of the measures that he did was to fire people in Tesla. And the people who are left in Tesla have to work extra hard, extra time in order to achieve a lot more. But I think people who are left there are also being rewarded quite well also lah. And remember when he bought over Twitter and renamed it as X, he also did the same thing. I think he fired half of Twitter's punya workforce. I think about 5,000 people or something like that. So the point I want to make is that when you cut so many people, when you cut half of the workforce, right, immediately you can see the impact of cost savings. And I think that's what he meant by efficiency, right? And then since the government agency in the past has given him so many trouble, uh, so I think cutting these agencies, cutting these headcounts make a lot of sense to him, right? But there's one issue. He is a businessman. When a businessman leads a government, I think I have mentioned this before in last week's podcast as well, together with Peter, is that I think when Donald Trump takes the office, it's going to be a messy 4 years ahead because he's going to make a lot of funny decisions, which a typical politician wouldn't make. Now, a politician's objective is to draft policies that make sure the well-being of the people, whereas a businessman's objective is to maximize profit. There's a reason why all these politicians they they craft all these policies and also build all these government agency in place. The main reason is to have a check and balance between the businesses, the people, and the government. Basically, all the stakeholders that are involved, lah, right? But when you have business people sitting in the government, all they want is to take away all these red tapes and push forward in a direction that benefits them. Anything that is not beneficiary to them, I think they will just find a way to sweep it away, right? And since Elon Musk is now heading the Department of Government Efficiency, he can always say that, hey, I think self-driving technology is the way forward to make US great again. But currently, there are too many agencies, too many red tapes that are in the way. So, in order to make the government more efficient, let's cut, cut. At the end, he will only keep those agencies that is in favor to what he wants in terms of all this self-driving technology and stuff like that. Then Tesla can move forward. You see the conflict of interest there? And this is just for Tesla, no. He also owns X. He also owns SpaceX. So I think with him in the government, probably he's going to make some direction in these areas, in the media industry, in the space exploration industry, and probably in the car industry as well, lah. So do you think that is good or bad? Well, you have your opinion and I have mine opinion. But I think to tie back to today's topic, will Tesla then really benefit from him being part of the government and continue to push Tesla share price up? I just want to say that I'm very lucky that I'm out of the investment banking industry right now. So I don't need to justify to my clients why you should buy Tesla, why you shouldn't buy Tesla. Because when I look at the valuation of Tesla, it is just crazy. Just crazy. Okay. So just to share with you, if you think Tesla is a car company, then let's look at Toyota, let's look at General Motors, we look at Volkswagen, these kind of big companies, right? They are trading around the PE ratio of between 9 to 11 times PE. Now, you can argue that, oh, because now everyone is talking about EV and all these companies that you just mentioned, they are all very behind, right? They are very slow in their rollout of their EV lineups, things like that. And companies like BYD, like Tesla, they are more ahead, so therefore they deserve a premium. Fair, okay? Fair. So Tesla deserve a premium. So some people would also think that Tesla is not just a car company, it is a tech company. Then let's look at Apple, let's look at Google, let's look at Amazon and all these magnificent seven stocks, right? Now, if you look at the valuation of these companies, the big tech companies like Apple, they are trading at around 30 to 40 times PE. Forward PE, 30 to 40 times PE. Even if you take Nvidia, right? The king of all tech stocks. It's trading around 60 times. But then when you compare all these companies back to Tesla's valuation, Tesla is trading at a valuation of 100 times PE today. So no matter how you try to look at Tesla, to me it is just very expensive. Now, I've got it wrong before, right? If you guys remember, I did mention that Nvidia is very expensive because at one point Nvidia is also trading at around 100 times PE, and I didn't believe in Nvidia, and it is also another stock that I didn't buy or never buy at all, and I was wrong, right? Today, from 100 times PE at that point in time for Nvidia, today it has dropped to around 60 times, which was proven fantastic. Nvidia is doing great. I think they will continue to drive the AI kind of technology advancement and stuff like that. So I could be wrong. But at this juncture, I just don't know how to justify to myself that you have the car players that is trading at around 10 times PE, you have the tech stocks that are trading around at 30, 40, or even 60 times PEs, and Tesla is trading at 100 times. So how do you justify that 100 times, right? So probably the main key thing here is because Elon Musk is now part of the government, he is able to push things forward, and perhaps all the policies that are going to be in place is going to be beneficiary for his kind of business. It's going to be good for X. It's going to be good for SpaceX. It's going to be good for Tesla. What do you guys think? What? Yeah, correct. So what do you guys think? If you think Tesla can go all the way up, can you type not type, but can you show me a thumbs up emoji? Right, thumbs up emoji if you think that Tesla is going to continue to rise. For me, because of that mistake that I made with Nvidia, and to think that this is just the beginning of the Trump administration and he has a 4 year term, there's a lot of room for Tesla to play in the next 4 years. Now, if you look at the car industry again, one of the reasons why Japanese companies are so slow in rolling out EV is because they don't think EV is very sustainable. Now, EV in the form of electric battery EVs lah. So therefore, they are coming out with their hydrogen version. They're coming out with the hybrid version and things like that. So, but with Elon Musk being in the government of the world's biggest superpower, he has the capability to push electric EV to the world, right? One of the ways that he can do it is, of course, start from home. He can probably give some subsidies. He can fasten the infrastructure building of charging stations in the US, build his base in the US and stuff like that, partially to clear off the graveyard of Tesla cars. And then perhaps he can also implement self-driving so that he can deploy those robo-taxis in the US. Once that is stabilizes, then he can start going out to the US and sell those cars to other parts of the world. Then you will be asking, how is he going to do that? I think that comes down to the next company that Elon Musk has recently bought in 2022, which is Twitter. Now, you guys remember why Elon Musk bought Twitter, right? He bought Twitter because he was very fed up with Twitter trying to clamp down on certain people's account in the name of free speech. So it is safe to say that Elon Musk is an advocate for free speech lah, and he spent $44 billion to buy that rights. So he bought Twitter, rename it into X in the name of free speech. But as I was watching a Johnny Harris recent video talking about Elon Musk as well, and I was shocked. So in that video, Johnny Harris did a comparison. Prior to Elon Musk acquiring Twitter, there was a number of requests for Twitter to block certain content, and Twitter usually comply 50% of the time. But after Elon Musk took over Twitter and renamed it as X, the number of requests went up. Now that's okay, because when you go into the year of election, when they are the left wing and the right wing people, they want to fight and all that. Yes, generally speaking, the number of requests to clamp down all this content will increase. But what is surprising is the percentage of X approving those clamp down has also increased substantially, more than 50%. And many of all these requests actually came from overseas. It came from companies like Turkey, some other areas where they were holding their election campaigns and stuff like that. And one of the reasons why X would comply with those requests is probably because of Elon Musk factor, and he would have other business interests in other areas as well. So I'm just trying to play this scenario, right? Let's say a country X is going to have an election, and then the opposition is trying to use X to spur some kind of propaganda or whatnot. And then the other party will go to X and say, "Hey, can you help me to clamp it down because it is affecting the sentiment in the people, and I want this to be controlled. And if you help me to do that, perhaps I can give more incentives so that your Tesla cars can come into my country. You can have your Starlink internet to sell to my people and stuff like that, right? Then because of all these business interests, maybe X would want to comply with those requests. So because of all these elements inside, right? And he's playing with so many sensitive industries, and now he is in the government. I think there's a lot of leg for him to continue to make decision that is going to be beneficiary for Tesla. That's why I say, because I was wrong once with Nvidia, I dare not to say that at 100 times PE it will not go higher, right? So what do you guys think, right? Tell me in the comments. Now, then I want to talk about EV, the the drive of EV, right? Apart from Tesla driving the initiative of changing people's behavior into an EV from an ICE car, I think there's another push coming from China as well. I think China is probably more advanced when it comes to electric EVs, right? You have people like BYD, people like Xpeng, even some of the cars is being rebadged in Malaysia, your Proton E-Mass and stuff like that. Um, I think that is going to change the world with or without Elon Musk. It is just that now, when Elon Musk is in the government, the fight between China and US is going to be even more intense. They can use this car as their so-called tech proxy war in 2025 to 2029, right? That, oh, if you use Chinese EV, then I don't know. I will impose some sort of tariff, for example, right? I really don't know. I'm just speculating, and don't take my words for it. But the point here is that apart from growing Tesla and his companies, there's also a tendency of him trying to press down competition. You are talking about efficiency, am I right? So one way to have efficiency is actually to have less competition so that the best can actually push forward even faster. So when you have competitors like China, trying to create competition and all that, the best way to be efficient is to make that competition go away, and then you just have one system, one infrastructure that drives the whole market. And this is going to be a very big factor for Tesla to continue to drive forward. But as we speak, even though for the past 60 days Tesla has gone up by 60%, I think that is starting to have a little bit of pullback on Tesla shares. This is despite Bitcoin prices continue to go up all-time high, and I think it is very likely that Bitcoin can hit 100K uh, before the end of the year lah. Um, Now, a lot of people think that this is just a minor pullback, and it becomes an opportunity for them to actually buy Tesla at the low. I got no comments on that because I'm a non-believer of Tesla. But yeah, many people are very excited about it and they go into it. So yeah, I think after talking for so long, right, the conclusion that I want to make is really do your own research, right? There's really two school of them, and I think if you want Tesla to really fly up to 200 times PE and things like that, they really need to come up with a new range of new cars in order to entice people to buy their vehicles. But they are not able to do that currently because they have too many inventory sitting in the graveyard. Before they sell all those cars, and if they come up with new models continuously right now, it is just going to dampen their profitability even more. And there's again two school of camps of whether this is good or bad for Tesla. One school of thought would be, if you roll out with so many models like BYD, it is going to make the second-hand market very bad. And that would hurt the brand eventually, right? That, oh, if you buy this car, oh, next year going to have new facelift again, and new facelift again. So what for I want to buy? If I buy the car, I'm going to lose a lot of money when I try to sell my car in the second-hand market. But the other school of thought would tell you that, oh, because they don't come out with so many models, that means the value of my second-hand car is protected. There's not many choice for people to choose from. They can only buy from this year produced punya Tesla. So therefore, it gives them even more confidence to say that, hey, I want to own a Tesla because not only it is future proof, but the second-hand value is also protected. Yeah. So it's it's very hard to pinpoint where this is going. It is not as easy as the past where, when you look at the stock, 100 times PE, just close your eyes and say that don't look at it. If you have position in it, you can take profit, you can look for other stocks ideas. But with this kind of scenarios and this kind of probabilities playing in the background, I am not sure whether this is a buy, a hold, and a sell. And I am also not going to give you whether it is a buy, a hold, and a sell because simply because this is not an investment advice and you should do your own research about it lah, right? So I think that's all I want to talk about Tesla today. This is going to be a short session because Peter is not here. No, I feel very lonely and stuff like that. But perhaps I can open up the floor a bit earlier so that you guys can ask some questions. And if you don't have some question, also come and interact with me so that I can have a more interactive session with you guys. And yeah, let's make this discussion even better. And or maybe you want to change my mindset. And after this, I want to go and look at it and see what are the possible entry level that I can go into this stock, right? Okay, let's open the floor and see what's there. Okay, this is my take. Tesla is not a car manufacturer but a mobility enabler. Kia, Hyundai have stated they are pivoting from a car manufacturer to being a mobility provider. Speaks volume and trends. Yeah. So how do you categorize Tesla? What kind of company is it? Because for investors, right, especially the fund managers, they cannot operate like startups like that one. They are very fixated that, okay, if you have a stock today coming to IPO, I need to categorize you in one industry so that at least I have a benchmark to evaluate whether this stock is expensive or cheap. Just now I've given you two kinds of benchmark, right? One is if I put them in the car industry, they look expensive. If I put them in the tech industry, they also look expensive. So if I throw the question back to you, right, A2K Lau, how would you categorize Tesla as? Or should there be a new ecosystem, a new industry of mobility provider, and this new industry deserves 100 times PE? I don't know, right? Feel free to continue to comment, then we have this discussion. Right. Ultra Boom says, I don't chase hype stocks. You want to buy before the hype and sell once it is hype, like buying YTLP at $1 and sell at $4. Uh, usually for people who can say that, right, you probably have done your research and you are very confident with your own research. Because very often what I see is that when you tell people that this company is good, the business is good, and it deserves a better valuation, right? And the share price is just flat. Nobody believe one. They will say, yeah, lah, wait and see first, lah, right? But when the share price has gone up like 100%, 200%, when it's expensive, then people will say, hey, this stock macam boleh can buy or not. Then when they buy, and then the correction kicks in, and then they say this is a scam. So kudos to you. I believe you are a very disciplined investors, and yeah, please continue to do that. Entry level EV can be Proton and Perodua, but don't know when will launch. I think pretty soon, right? I've seen a lot of posters, a lot of videos on Proton e-mass already, and I think Perodua by next year also they are coming out with their version of EV. It would take time for Elon Musk to make those changes, no, and 4 years, I don't think it's enough time to make much changes. Very hard to say. because he has proven himself that he can even send rockets up to the space. And not just send up to space, the conventional method of launching a rocket is that when the rocket re-entry the Earth, a lot of things drop in the ocean and become ocean waste. But SpaceX has made it so advanced that the rocket can come back to the launching pad and be reused again. So that's how wonderful SpaceX rocket can be, right? And those you are talking about advanced science, engineering, and you need like thousands of people to work on this kind of projects. And now we're just talking about changing of policies. How difficult can that be, right? And now he has the support of the new government and stuff like that. I think things can change quite rapidly in the next 4 years. Okay, do you think Nvidia has reached the ceiling? Nvidia just announced their quarterly result, good sets of result. The forecast also looks very optimistic, and it has also proven that the valuation has dropped from 100 times PE today is around 60 over times. So I think there is still more rooms for Nvidia as long as they continue to be innovative, come up with more advanced chips, and those chips will drive the advancement of the tech sector. There's plenty of room for Nvidia. All right. Um, I would pay Tesla valuation for SpaceX if it was listed. Yeah, I would also. Okay, so I feel taxi and having a single provider of mobility is the most efficient use of resources. This is why he's pushing so hard about robotaxi and making current model self-drive enabled, so that when the driver isn't needing it, is a become mobility for others. Okay, fantastic. All right, any more questions? Many retailers don't have experience and discipline. The psychology is a big part, but I do admit that it is hard to see Bitcoin go up, and I don't believe in BTC. Okay, speaking about retailers and don't have experience and discipline, right? Um, I I just want to share with you guys. Last year we actually did a pilot project on FAQ show, where we chose 10 of you guys, 10 of the audiences, and we had um, a, a crash course of 3 months. So every weekend, every Saturday, these 10 people, they will come to our office and we will deep dive into the 10 big industries in Busan, Malaysia. So week after week, we will deep dive into every different industries. And then at the end of it, we have workshops. The objective of the workshop was to build a collective virtual portfolio. And at the end of the 3 months, the 10 of us, or 11 of us, including me, we came up with a list of 12 stocks. So last week, I was just looking back at these 12 stocks, right? And this was built last year. And if any of 10 of you are here today, you can give me a hands up, right? So I was tracking the performance of that 12 stocks 1 year ago and today. It has gone up by 40%. 40%, and this is not my stocks ideas. This was built collectively among 11 of us. And if you compare that 40% against the S&P 500 performance, S&P 500 performance in the past 1 year was only 30%. So we have actually outperformed the market. So discipline can be trained one. And I think that is the reason why FAQ Show is also interested to build its own version of on ground events with you guys. And we are actually speaking with some of the sponsors to see who can come in and support us. And perhaps the next time round, we don't need to limit it at 10 people. We can open it up to like 50, 100 people. And I believe with 50, 100 people, we can build an even better virtual portfolio so that you guys can continue to do your own research based on that guidelines, right? I think that's a good initiative for all of us lah. So hopefully when that is rolled out, I can see some of you guys there. I would like to have more exchanging of ideas, more discussion, and more interactive session with you guys also. What is the best dividend stocks in Bursa Malaysia? I'm so sorry, we cannot give stock ideas because yeah, the regulators are watching us. Okay, Frankie, can you try to appear in one of the episodes with Peter and Ong Kian Ming or a trio? Huh, that's actually an interesting idea. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. Yes. I believe Tesla will pump until he has a big disagreement with Trump. As long as they are friends, it should go up. Huh, good point. Businessmen got this thing very funny one, you know. They can be friends, but they also have different ways or different methods of how a business should be run. So one of the chaos that could possibly happen is exactly this. A disagreement between Trump, Tesla, and his lineup of cabinets. Because Trump cabinet, if you see so far, right, the more I look at it, the more I scratch my head and think, how is the US is going to be in the next 4 years? Because he is putting a vaccine skeptic as his health minister. He is putting the ex-CEO of WWE, the Wrestling Federation, as the leader of the education ministry. So he's putting these kind of people in the cabinet. So I'm just wondering how is it going to work and whether there's going to be a lot of fight in the government and it will trickle down to be very bad for the people and for the world lah, right? Since Trump got elected, almost every single crypto has gone up. However, ETH still struggle. Why is that? Uh, uh, my opinion is that there are a lot of greater projects out there today. If you try to look at things like Solana, you know, stuff like that, they all have this objective that they want to be even better than Ethereum. Maybe that could be one reason. But if you want to know more about it, I think you should again do your own research because yeah, I may be wrong. Okay, any other questions? If no other questions, then perhaps we can call it a night. Hopefully next week Peter can be back with us, right? Okay, no, still got question. Huh. Okay lah, answer last one question and then we call it a night. Okay. This Bursa quarterly earnings season is interesting. A lot of companies reported forex losses, but whether it's one-off or persistent, it's up for debate. Huh? Yes, that's what I observed as well. A lot of companies they are reporting losses because ringgit is strengthening. But I also see the US no, sorry, US weakening, so therefore a lot of Malaysian company make losses. But I also see ringgit going back down to 450, close to 450 already, and I think that will turn the tide back and make all these companies that were not doing very well this quarter to sort of normalize back in the next quarter. So that's how I see it lah. Okay, no more questions. Then let's call it a night. Thanks you guys for staying with me for the past 1 hour. See you guys next week. Good night. This quarter to sort of normalize back in the next quarter. So that's how I see it lah. Okay, no more questions. Then let's call it a night. Thanks you guys for staying with me for the past 1 hour. See you guys next week. Good night.